Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and happy Independence Day. It is July 4th of 2022, and before I get into what I want to tell you about what it's like living behind the Iron Curtain when a major pro-2A case comes out and how it affects the state, I want to remind everybody that the document you see on the screen is the Declaration of Independence. This is what fundamentally changed the way things were and created the United States of America. In July of 1776, an estimated 2.5 million people lived in the 13 colonies, but only 56 of them had the stones to sign the Declaration of Independence. An estimated 25% of the colonists participated, and no more than 45% supported the war to gain independence. Yet, here we stand, even with all of our faults and failures, the greatest republic in the history of the world. I want that to sink in, that it only takes a small percentage to get stuff done. With that, I want to tell people of what it's like living in a communist nation of Massachusetts after the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin decision came out, and how it has affected the state and how they're trying to get around it. And then it's a call to arms for those groups that are pro-2A groups and how to stop this immediately. Now, some good did happen here in Massachusetts. When the Bruin decision came down and Clarence Thomas was a masterpiece, chef kiss. And what it did was it basically made Massachusetts a shall issue state, which is fantastic. It also got rid of the restrictions in this state. There were all kinds of restrictions for sporting in Target, for personal protection, for job-related items. There was all kinds of ways that a city or town could restrict the right of the people to keep and bear arms. I also, for those who are getting ready to type, do not believe we even need a permit because, as the Supreme Court has said in a prior decision, paying a fee for a constitutionally guaranteed right is a no-go. But with that set aside, this is how Bruin has affected the state and how Massachusetts is trying to get around it. On the screen is a document that was sent by the Attorney General's office across the state. Now, this has gone to law enforcement, etc. And if you want to read it in detail, I'll have it linked below. But I'm going to skip right to the executive summary because that tells you most of what you need to know and how Massachusetts will still keep treading on people's rights. Number one, it says it remains unlawful to carry a firearm in Massachusetts without a license. Of course, the Supreme Court in this decision mentioned licensing schemes a lot. Licensing authorities should continue to enforce the prohibited person and suitability provisions of the license to carry statute. Now, she says, she being Maura Healey, the Attorney General of Massachusetts, she says these aspects of the statute are unaffected by Bruin. However, that is a play on words because in Massachusetts, suitability is a way for the licensing authority in Massachusetts is the chiefs of police who have the ultimate, who do the licensing for their towns and cities. If they think that you might have something about you that they don't like, that maybe you might pose a risk in some way that they can concoct in their head, like if you have a different political belief, or if you're somebody who's very pro-rights, or somebody who just doesn't match what they want as far as who can carry a gun in their community, well, they will deny you based off of suitability. It's a very gray area. There's a lot of play and a lot of power for chiefs of police to deny people, even though they're not federally prohibited. That, according to Bruin, is unconstitutional. Let's continue. Licensing authorities should cease enforcement of the good reason provision of the license to carry statute in response to Bruin. Authorities should no longer deny or impose restrictions on a license to carry because the applicant lacks a sufficiently good reason to carry a firearm. An applicant who is neither a prohibited person or unsuitable must be issued an unrestricted license to carry. That gets rid of the restrictions. That tells everybody it's a shall issue state now, but we're still going to keep this illegal, unconstitutional suitability clause because we just don't want people to have guns. The next part is cool too. Licensing authorities may continue to inquire about the reasons why an applicant wants a license, but may only use that information to assess the prohibited person and suitability requirements of the statute. They may not use that information to deny or restrict a license for lack of sufficiently good reason to carry a firearm. So, the licensing authority will still pry, why do you want this license? And what you should say is my God-given right recognized in the Constitution. I don't get it from government, and I just want to be able to protect myself. But they're going to ask and they're going to pry into questions on why you really want it, so that maybe something you say might say, ooh, unsuitable, and they can still deny you. Now, I've spoken with the head of our State 2A group here in Massachusetts. It's GOAL, Gun Owners Action League here, and they are looking at what their next step is. They're considering a bunch of ideas and thoughts and avenues, and to that I say absolutely, but I think it needs to happen fast. With the groups out of state, Firearms Policy Coalition, Second Amendment Foundation, Gun Owners of America, insert your group here. This is a call to arms. This is a call to action. I would prefer that all of you team up and not worry about anybody getting credit. Let's all team up and do the right thing, and let's all sue Massachusetts. Hell, if you need to have my name as a plaintiff, I will do that for this state. I'll put my name out there. Let's get it done, because these tyrants, these communists will always think of a way to find a way to just challenge the way it should be. So here in Mass, they're still going to continue to violate people's rights and hope that it might take another 20 years for this lawsuit to play out. I think this can be stopped immediately. It is a direct violation of 2 weeks ago, of a ruling that came out 2 weeks ago, and I'm calling on everybody to get it done. Not just in Massachusetts, but in the other states that are doing it as well. California, New York, Delaware, Rhode Island. Insert them here. Let's do it, and let's do it now. Let's go on the offensive like they've never seen before. Let's make it rain freedom. And you guys and gals in all those groups know how to get a hold of me, GunsandGadgets@charter.net. Many of you have my personal phone number. Let's do what we can to help the citizens here in Massachusetts. That is my hope on Independence Day. Guys and gals, never forget what people went through to make today possible. All right, a lot of people gave their all. And the people who signed the Declaration of Independence gave their all. Their families became enemies of the crown immediately. They gave up their fortunes, their land. They were hunted. All because they knew life could be better if it was done with freedom and individual liberty. To me, that means a lot. And living so close to where it all started, it just is a special day for me. And I hope it is for you too. Until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe. Let's get it done, groups. Let's all team up. Let's get it done. Now's the time to strike. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.